Hi there, and Powerfully Unlabeled here. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully today. Um, last few days, energies have been quite intense. Um, we're going through the ending of the new moon and the eclipse, and yesterday, I don't know how you all are feeling, but in my what I've seen out here, I've noticed that a lot of people are just in the midst of, having very strong waves of emotions going on. Either they're like incredibly happy or having waves of just really sad, And I had major waves of sadness yesterday, in particular, just very, very emotional day yesterday for me. I'm wondering if anyone else is feeling that. But anyway, if you want to talk about that, how your emotions are doing, through this new moon and eclipse, go ahead and feel free to comment. I would love to hear from you. With today's what I want to talk about today is what I experience physically with the sensory abilities to I feel rather intensely feelings, radiation through my body. When radiation flowing through my body, I can really feel that rather intensely. I also can feel electricity, very sensitive to electricity, and magnetic energies. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I'm hoping that I can bring awareness to people who might be experiencing the same things, that we can collaborate on that, cheerlead each other, share each other's strategies of what we do to help through that. Maybe you have some kiddos that you have a hunch that maybe they are experiencing some of these same things, and I'm hoping that with the explanation of how it actually physically feels for me when I'm experiencing these things, that that will help you out there. If you're a parent, a guardian, a teacher, or anything that wants to help any of these kiddos out there, that you could just have more of an awareness of that. And anyway, with that, the three main extrasensory things that I want to talk about is the feeling, what it feels like for me when I'm experiencing large amounts of radiation coming through, what magnetic energies feel like, and what electric feelings feel like. The first one I'll talk about is the electricity feeling. When I'm feeling very high amounts of electricity, I think that's probably the easiest because most of us have been, on our extremities, for instance, or when you're walking, like if you're walking on a carpet and you're rubbing your feet on the carpet and then you zap, you feel that electric charge feeling, or you touch, a light socket or somebody, and you have that zap, that electric feeling in your fingertips or feet. I think all of us at some level, we feel that electricity at some point in time. I'm just going to turn down the volume of make sure the volume of my phone is down so that we don't get disturbed during this recording. Anyway, so with the electricity, I feel electricity very intensely during some points of time. The electric feeling, it goes beyond just feeling in the extremities. Like I will literally feel from head to toe, my whole, like sometimes it's just the exterior, like the skin layer, I don't know, derma, I'm sure there's a proper word for it, but anyway, your skin layer, I will feel it from head to toe, all of my skin. I will just feel so charged, and it's really intense. And when I experience that, I will zap things like all nonstop. I'm zapping things all day long. Like anyone I touch, anything I touch, it's like this electricity is drawn to me, and I'm constantly zapping things. Other times I'll feel that electricity coming in through me, and it is not only just on my skin, but it is flowing through my veins. It is so intense. When I experience that, like the best way to neutralize yourself is to get yourself out, bare feet out in the grass, to ground yourself to the earth. Like I've found that is like literally the best way to fix that. Another thing, and like at really extreme times, I will sit out there for a good, 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm usually feeling some major relief from that, and it kind of depends on what environment you live in, where you work, or what's happening in the weather, electrical storm coming through or whatever. If you're sensitive to that, it's almost like I'm a lightning rod or something, and it's just drawn to me for whatever reason. But anyway, yeah, just grounding yourself. There's also things that you can purchase. I sleep in with bedding that is copper infused, and it's kind of spendy. I will admit it is kind of spendy to get that kind of bedding. But if you can afford it and you can get your hands on it, it is so helpful. I got, I like to use a lot of pillows. I sleep with a lot of pillows around me, and I have 4 pillows with king-sized copper infused pillowcases, and I just lay them in around me, and I feel so soothed, and it feels nice and cool. It's almost like it feels kind of like silk and rayon-ish, and it's very cooling, and it just I feel like I'm grounded, and I sleep so much better. So you can do that as well. Anyway, and then, so that was the electric feeling. I also have a sensitivity to the feelings of radiation coming through my body. And when I feel very intensely radiation coming in through my body, more times than not, it's more intense from the head to down. Not always, but like in my cheeks, in my face, in my head, in my shoulder. Like today, I'm feeling solar radiation, from the outside and in, up in my arms and my shoulders, and it's just kind of raining in down. The feeling is kind of, it can feel like your body is so hot that it's cold. You know what I mean? It's just so hot that it's cold, and it literally feels like if you've had like a really intense hardcore cardio workout, and you can like feel your muscles and stuff. It's like literally almost like you feel things breaking down inside of you, like it's purifying itself, like it's burning. It's literally burning something within you. It feels like that, some days it's just not there, which is nice. But other days it's kind of medium. Like today, it's just kind of penetrating me in through the skull, the cheeks, the upper arms, and it's working its way through the top of my legs. That's what I'm experiencing today. But anyway, that's the solar radiation, and whenever I feel that, I feel like it's almost kind of like your body's a battery, and it drains you. Like you feel energetically, you just get winded a lot faster, and I just feel like energetically, like it's harder to get things done. Like I'm slower, um, and it's just I what helps me to feel better on days like this is just to allow myself grace, to relax, just rest. Don't put myself into situations where, highly stressful situations, if it's possible, allow yourself to take a little longer break than normal, at work. Try to avoid highly stressful situations, dramas, that sort of thing. Because, quite frankly, when these kind of energies come through, it can bring on, irritability. And if you put yourself in these highly stressful situations, it's like we're human and we can only take so much, so just give yourself some grace through that. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to go slower. Rest, 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 and drink a lot of water. A lot of water. I always have this water with me. I drink it. Filtered water is what I prefer. I don't like to drink tap water. That's a preference that I do for my body is I do that, and just rest and allow myself grace and stay out of stressful situations. So the other one that's kind of a little bit more weird to talk about, that's very different, is the magnetic energy that I can feel. And quite literally, it's as if a magnet comes up to my body, and I feel the force. I feel the force of the gravitational force towards where that magnet is. And I don't see the magnet. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of a force, and that force goes towards a direction. And it's like sometimes the magnet, because you can feel like, well, for me, I can feel like how large the magnetic area is. It's as if sometimes the magnet is big, like if it's underneath my feet, like if I'm standing and it's this big, as if this large magnet is under me, it turns on and my whole body feels this force down towards it, like the whole body. Sometimes I feel that, and it's like I feel forced down towards it. Sometimes it's just for a second, like I feel it really fast. Other times it's like a slow, mild force down, and it can last for prolonged amounts of times, and then it just kind of slowly goes away or whatever. Other times, and this is really weird, but it is what it is. I feel it, I experience it. It's as if there's a magnet inside of me somewhere, and it turns on, and like a part of my body, like for instance, if I feel it in my head, that's usually where I feel it most of the time. Sometimes it's in different parts of the body, but when I feel it, it's as if a magnet inside, let's pretend there's a magnet inside my head that's like maybe the size of a golf ball or a jawbreaker or something. It turns on. The magnetic energy turns on. And then, for instance, my skull is the metal, so it'll like be drawn in towards that magnetic force point, and it'll just feel like it's constricting in. I hope I'm making sense. It is really strange. It is, I'll admit it. It is strange, and it's weird to talk about, but I do experience it, and it's a reality for me, and I know there's got to be someone else out there who does experience these things. I'm hoping to find you, you know. Um, but other times it's like a magnetic force, like maybe it's a stripe or a strip or a little thing. It's like it comes up to next to my face, and then I'll feel this force coming out toward. It's like it's getting squished out towards it. It's just a really bizarre feeling. So, so there's the magnetic energy, and then um, and then oftentimes I will feel electric and magnetic together simultaneously. So there's a variety of different feelings and sensories with that. And also the radiation. The radiation, like all three of those things can happen simultaneously within me. And I can decipher a difference between those three different things of what I'm experiencing. These gifts, I know they've been present the whole time, but I really was able to have an awareness of what was going on around the year of between 2019 and 2020, 2021 was when it really started coming online. And so I've just kind of slowly gotten to where I'm really comfortable with knowing what's happening, you know, why it's happening. Sometimes I don't know why it's happening. It's just happening, and that's okay. But some things that I noticed was that when I went out and I sought help and I researched, you know, via Facebook, YouTube, or whatever, I researched and I tried to find other people that were experiencing some of the same things, and I did find some people that did that. I found a woman via Facebook, Schumann Resonance Updates with Marguerite. I follow her, and she, what's called the Schumann Resonance. I'm going to read to you what it is, so you know what it is, if you're not aware of it. The Schumann resonances are a series of electromagnetic frequencies that occur between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. They are generated by lightning strikes that create electromagnetic waves that bounce back and forth between the Earth and the ionosphere. The frequencies of these waves are known as Schumann resonances, and they are approximately 7.83, 14.3, 20.8, 27.3, and 33.8 hertz. And there are instruments, there are Schumann resonance instruments that measure these frequencies, these hertz, in strategic places around the world. And if you can find the apps, the places, and you can follow that they monitor and they record these frequencies. So if you're experiencing electric magnetic energies, kind of like what I described, or maybe for you it's a little different, if you're experiencing anything like that, you can take a look on these sites and you can begin to follow and maybe see a correlation between when there are spikes shown on these tools and when you're experiencing these things. And I found this to be true when I began to really pay attention to when these things were happening, and then I would go on and I would see, oh, yep, there's a spike. Okay, you know, there's a reason for this. This is actually a thing. This is not just in my mind, you know. Schumann resonances are sometimes called the Earth's heartbeat. They can be used to analyze Earth's weather, the electric environment, and the types of atoms and molecules in the atmosphere. The German physicist Winfried Otto Schumann, he first described the Schumann resonances in the 1950s. Okay, and you can follow the Schumann resonance on like NASA. You can find it on NASA website, and there's various other apps and whatnot. Here, I'll spell it for you. It's spelled CSCHUMANN. I'm sorry, it's spelt Schumann. Schumann. Okay? Schumann. The word human's in it. I just realized that. Schumann. Cool. Anyway, yeah, check that out and see, if you have kiddos and you have a hunch that maybe they're experiencing this. Start to track their behaviors and how they're feeling and correlate it to what's going on with these tools, and maybe you'll see a correlation, you know. And so I'm going to show you. So I follow this. I've seen this just today, actually. It's Schumann Resonance Updates with Marguerite. She's on Facebook. You should find her. I follow her. She's amazing. She talks about the Schumann, and there's other people on this app that talk about and they do experience these energies just like I do, and it's a wonderful woman. She's just wonderful. She says everybody rest fast. Even NASA is predicting a KP7 solar storm today. So that's the next thing I'm going to talk about. Is you can follow KP instruments, Planetary K Index, space weather prediction centers. They will measure the Earth's atmosphere and geomagnetic activity and solar particle radiation through magnetic effects. And it's the KP index is what it's called. So I took a picture of I don't know, maybe after this. Okay, I took a still frame of the website. The website is NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center, and this is a government website. Okay, www.swpc.noaa.gov shows this, the tools, measures this. Okay, and you'll see off to the side here, where is it? Oh, right there. When you're seeing red spikes on that KP index, that means the radiation's really high, and so I also found a correlation between what I was feeling with the burn going through my body. I was able to correlate that, and that's a huge way that I figured out that what I was experiencing was radiation going through my body, with the solar flares, the sun solar flares. That's another thing that you can follow. You can follow that on the NASA website as well. They're called corona mass ejections, and they are flares that come off of our sun, and they emit solar radiation, and when they hit the Earth, it's usually within a window of 48 to 72 hours. If they're directed towards the Earth, they can impact our Earth, and so these instruments do follow the radiation, and that's how they will follow when we have the aurora borealis. The auroras occur. That's from the impacts of the coronal mass ejections, the radiation's coming through, creating those beautiful colors, those auroras in the northern atmosphere of the Earth. But some of us who are very sensitive to this radiation and experience it, such as myself, I do like to track these things, and I find that when we have really large flares that shoot out from the sun that's directed for us, oftentimes I will see a correlation between when there's a bunch of C flares that day, or an X flare even. That's a very large one, which we had an X flare like yesterday morning, I believe. So moving on to the end of today, tomorrow, and the next day, certain areas of the Earth are going to be really feeling that radiation, and that's where Marguerite talks about how even NASA predicts that there's going to be a level of KP7, and that's like a red level on the chart. So we're going to have higher levels of radiation than normal. So those of us who are very sensitive, like even on the news, they'll tell you if we have higher radiation days that it's better to stay indoors on those days and whatnot. Like, it is an actual thing. It's not just a woo-woo weird thing. These are actual things that do impact us. So I really hope that this helps you guys with what I've talked about today. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching, and please, I would love to hear any of your comments about what you experience as well. Mwah! Bye-bye.